When my wife, Clara, said those words to me, it felt like a blade cutting through the years we had spent together. Asterisk, I chose you because I was getting older. Remember that. Asterisk, she said it during an argument about something small, who forgot to pick up groceries. But her tone was cold, detached, almost as if she had rehearsed it. I froze. In that moment, everything I thought I knew about our marriage began to crumble. I tried to laugh it off later, hoping she didn't mean it. But her face stayed blank, no regret, no apology. That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind kept replaying every memory, searching for signs I had missed. Had I been just a backup plan all along? I started noticing how she spent more time on her phone, smiling faintly at messages I couldn't see. The woman who once talked to me about everything now barely made eye contact. I didn't want to accuse her without proof, so I stayed quiet. I became an observer in my own home. I noticed her late-night gym sessions, the sudden perfume that wasn't hers, and the way she'd get defensive when I asked simple questions. My instincts screamed that something was wrong. One evening, when she said she had a client dinner, I decided to follow her. She drove to a restaurant across town, one I'd never been to. I parked a few cars behind her and watched from a distance. Then I saw him, a man in a tailored suit waiting at the entrance. He greeted her with a hug that lasted far too long. My chest tightened, but I stayed silent. I watched them laugh, touch hands across the table, like a scene from a romantic movie. Except this movie was my nightmare. I didn't confront her that night. Instead, I took photos quietly from my car. I needed the truth, not her excuses. When she came home later, she acted as if nothing happened. She kissed me on the cheek and said she was exhausted. I nodded, pretending everything was normal. Inside, I was falling apart. The next few days, I gathered more evidence, messages, hotel receipts, and a photo of them leaving together. Each proof hurt more than the last, but I needed to face reality. Finally, one morning at breakfast, she sat across from me, scrolling her phone. I placed the folder of evidence in front of her and said calmly, "I know everything." Her eyes widened, and the color drained from her face. She didn't even try to deny it. Instead, she sighed and said, "I was going to tell you soon." That made me laugh, a bitter, hollow sound. "Tell me what?" I asked. "That you've been cheating on me while pretending this marriage still mattered?" She stayed quiet, guilt-heavy in her silence. I asked her why. Why betray someone who stood by her through every struggle? She finally whispered, "Because I felt trapped. I thought I'd miss my chance to be happy." That broke me. Not because she cheated, but because she believed I was her last resort, not her choice. I walked away that day, leaving her sitting at the table with her tears. I moved into a small apartment, started over, and focused on rebuilding myself. It wasn't easy. 15 years together don't fade overnight. But the peace that came with honesty was better than living with lies. Months passed before I heard from her again. She called one evening, saying she made a mistake and wanted to talk. I agreed to meet, more out of closure than hope. When we met, she looked tired, lost. "He left me," she admitted softly. "He said he couldn't be with someone who could betray her husband." I simply nodded. Karma had done what I didn't need to. She asked if I could forgive her. I looked at her for a long moment before answering, "I already have. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting." I stood up, wished her peace, and walked away for the last time. Years later, when people ask why I never remarried, I tell them the truth. I'm not afraid of love, but I've learned its value. Love isn't choosing someone because time is running out. It's choosing them because you can't imagine life without them. And as for Clara's words, "I chose you because I was getting older," they no longer haunt me. They remind me that sometimes the greatest gift life gives us is the chance to start again, without the people who never truly valued us.